As I was standing there, Pac went out like a straight up G, man. It wasn't no fear in his eyes. Matter of fact, he had his back to motherfuckers.
Well, tell me what happened at the recording studios in Times Square.
I got shot 5 times. I walked in, some dudes walked in and shot me up. Took some jewelry.
Do you know who shot you? No. Is that a no or is that a maybe?
No.
No. So does that mean that you also have no idea why they shot you?
No, I have no idea why they shot me.
Do you think that they shot you just to get your jewelry?
I don't know.
At any point, did you think that you were going to die after being shot 5 times?
No. No, I didn't. Pieces of it was in Marin City, and then the rest came in Oakland.
It was the 30th of November, 1994, the day the East Coast-West Coast rivalry began, the day Tupac and Biggie stopped being friends, and the day hip-hop changed forever. It was the beginning of the end of the golden age of hip-hop. Tupac was in New York to record a verse for DJ Ron G's mixtape. However, throughout the day, Pac's beeper didn't stop going off. Jimmy Henchman had repeatedly called Tupac because he also wanted him to do a verse for his rapper Lil Sean. Henchman and Tupac didn't exactly like each other. In fact, many sources state that Pac didn't exactly want to work with Henchman, but he needed the money. Jimmy Henchman wasn't expecting to pay for the verse as everyone knew Tupac didn't charge for features. However, Pac asked for $7,000 to appear on the song. Tupac was running low on cash because this was during the period when he was also battling the sexual assault case. Pac wanted to be paid in cash, but Henchman wanted to give him a check. The duo ended up back and forth on the call. Tupac felt disrespected because everyone knows Henchman is a gangster, so he definitely can't pay with a check as his money ain't clean. After the argument they had on the phone, Henchman was really pissed and he decided to teach Pac a lesson. He told Tupac he was going to pay the $7 grand and invited him to Quad Studios. Pac was quite suspicious after Henchman agreed, but he still decided to go to the studio. Tupac and Henchman's history didn't start on this call. The beef started because of Tupac's issues with Haitian Jack. Haitian Jack was one of the fiercest gangsters in New York at the time. And you know how serious Haitian Jack is when even Mike Tyson warned Pac about him.
There's a rumor that you told Pac not to hang out with Haitian Jack, but he didn't listen.
Well, I told Pac, man, I said, I don't know if you, I think you're out of your league right now. You know?
Mm-hmm.
He had asked me about Jack. You know, and I had known Jack through Scooter. And I used to say, you're out of your league.
Tupac and Haitian Jack used to be friends. Back in 1993, they were both charged with sodomizing Ayanna Jackson in Pac's hotel room. But Pac believed he was betrayed by Haitian Jack. Pac believed Haitian Jack was a snitch because he wasn't in court and didn't face the same kind of scrutiny he faced.
So what they think is that I represent lawlessness and the outlaw mentality, and I represent that thug mentality from the street. So they feel like if they can punish me, then it'll punish people who are not as brave as I am, who don't speak out against things like me, who not scared to walk through the streets with no bodyguard. See, they need to put me in jail. These other guys, they don't have to put in jail because they can arrest them on smaller things. They can't arrest me on those small things. They got to frame me. They got to do things like this. They got to have, 30 charges and none of them have to do with me. You know what I'm saying? How can you, if you really, while all these cameras are here, everybody goes something to grow on. How am I going to forcibly do anything to a girl after she did it to me consensually? And that's not something I'm making up. That's what they said. They said that. The girl came to court and said she did this, she did that. She called my hotel. It was good. She said that, not me. Now, why am I going to force her? I mean, this is common sense. But no matter what happens, innocent or guilty, my life is ruined. I'm guilty of a lot of things. I'm guilty probably of being a male chauvinist pig. I'm guilty of probably not caring as much as I should. I'm guilty of not spending enough time with people like I should. But I'm not guilty of rape. Just because I don't want to be with that girl don't mean that she has the right to say that I did all of these things that I didn't do. You know what I'm saying? Just because, of course I can't spend my life with all the girls that I spend time with. But I'm not married. You know what I'm saying? That's not a crime for me to be promiscuous.
The census here that is what one discussed. She wasn't prepared, she says, for what happened to her, and it wasn't supposed to happen.
Okay, so she wasn't prepared for what happened. So where are those people that did this? They were all in the same hotel as me. They were all right in the same room with me. Why am I the only one in court right now? Why is the cameras all on me? And in the report and all these charges, I didn't do nothing. I'm charged with being in concert with some guys. Well, where they at? Why me? Because I'm Tupac. No, I'm not angry at them. I'm angry at the system. I don't want nobody else to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to go to jail for something I didn't do.
Henchman and Haitian Jack were good friends. They were two of the most feared gangsters on the streets of New York. Haitian Jack stated that although he was disrespected by Pac, he still told his homeboys not to hurt him.
I tell people, you don't really know Pac, because Pac don't even know Pac. He got the right name. There's definitely two Pacs there. It's not one, it's two of them. Pac was all good when I was doing good things to him, until we caught that punk-ass case that was easily could have been beaten by both of us.
The singer was arrested Thursday night after a woman claimed that he and 3 other men overpowered her in a hotel suite.
He let his attorneys turn him against me. And that's the part that I'll never forgive him for, because if I'm gonna ride or die with you, homie, I expect you to do the same. See, that's what I call a fair weather friend. Everything's good when everything's good, you know? But as soon as we catch a punk-ass case, right? You start telling me, oh, I can't talk to you, my attorneys. I'm like, what? You ain't who you say you are, man. You ain't no gangster. I told everyone not to do anything to Pac.
What did Tupac say in the Daily News about you that kind of started everything going bad between you?
Yeah, well, he called me a hang-on. The funny thing about it, when Pac comes to New York, I'm the first person he calls and hangs on to me.
So you were offended when he called you a hanger-oner in the Daily News?
I was offended, but I didn't think what he said warrants him to be hurt.
Wow. Could it have been somebody who felt that you were disrespected that moved independently?
Yeah. A lot of people listened and said, look, Jackson, leave it alone. And they left it alone, but there's always one in the crowd that has something to prove.
The man who had something to prove was Jimmy Henchman. Henchman set Tupac up because he supposedly wanted to teach him a lesson. Because Pac was already suspicious, he arrived at the building with 10mm guns. But he also became a bit relaxed when he saw Lil Cease and realized that the Bad Boy crew were in the building. Pac arrived at the scene with his friend Big Stretch, his homie Zayd, and his road manager Freddie Nichols. Pac was just there to record his verse, get the money, and hit the road. But that's not exactly how the night went. After arriving at the building, Pac and his homeboys were ambushed by 3 robbers just as they were approaching the elevator. Stretch, Pac, Nichols, and Zayd were all told to hit the floor, but it was only Pac who didn't get on the floor. Remember, Tupac had a gun on him, so he wanted to take on the robbers. Pac tried reaching for his gun, but these stick-up guys weren't messing around. Tupac was shot multiple times before he could whip out his gun. After falling to the floor, he was beaten up and pistol-whipped by the stick-up crew before they eventually grabbed his jewelry, one of Pac's guns, and ran out of the building.
The scene, stick-up kids moved so professional, so precise. This is what they did. Like, I ain't gonna lie about the shit. Motherfuckers saw that he had a gun because one of them dudes went to grab his arm, and it wasn't really a tussle. He just grabbed it like, turn around, yo, and Pac snatched his shit back like, yo, wait. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, shit. You know, I know what the fuck he gonna do. So I'm kind of just edging my way back close up to the wall to give him a clear shot. I'm figuring he gonna do that spin around shit. By the time I'm figuring that, one of the dudes had seen Pac had a gun, and he just said gun, and then you heard the fire. These dudes was on top of their game. And if you ask me, these cats had some military training, you know what I mean? Because I ain't never seen no stick-up shit like that where dudes was that accurate with their guns, and they spoke short but brief but effective. They was on point.
Tupac was shot 5 times, twice in the head, once in his left arm, and one in his thigh, and once in his groin. Now, there are some controversies about who was responsible for one of the bullets that hit Tupac. According to Stretch, Tupac accidentally shot himself while trying to remove his gun. The other witness at the scene, Zayd, also agreed and stated that Pac was responsible for one of the bullets that hit him. This bullet that hit Pac went through his groin, and the same bullet also hit his road manager, Nichols, in the stomach.
They shot fast, Pac got hit, Nichols got hit. Yes, Nichols did get hit by Pac. The bullet that went through Pac's groin wound up into Nichols' abdomen. But it wasn't no Cheddar Bob shit. Like I said, it wasn't no Cheddar Bob. Pac was pulling, and these niggas seen it, and they spoke gun. When you get hit in the head and in the hand, of course, he didn't even get a chance to pull it out his waist because they was on it. So that's how Nichols got hit.
After the robbery, Pac was still able to make his way onto the elevator. Zayd picked up Tupac's second gun and one bullet casing on the floor so as to avoid a gun charge.
He goes to me, they right there. He points towards the street, you know what I mean? So I pulls the gun, I start aiming the gun, and I'm like, where? You know what I mean? He like, right there. So I don't see what the fuck he's talking about. So I'm like, where? And he pointing, and I said, hold up, you talking about the police? And he's like, yeah. I said, Pac, fuck them motherfuckers, man. The motherfuckers were smiling at me when I came out the door. And then you seen the look on Pac's face. It all got real. It all came to light to him. You know what I'm saying? Like he seen that shit was a setup.
Everyone knew Tupac was set up by Jimmy Henchman. When Tupac and his homies got upstairs, the studio was packed with a lot of people, such as Lil Cease, Diddy, Biggie, and Henchman himself, just to mention a few. Zayd hid the gun he found at the scene in one of the pianos in the studio.
Rap star Tupac Shakur is in a hospital recovering from serious gunshot wounds as a New York jury deliberates his fate regarding sexual abuse charges. Police say Shakur was the victim of a robbery, and though the wounds were serious, he has been conscious and able to talk to his mother on the phone. Mark Shear has more.
Police say controversial rap star Tupac Shakur was entering the street-level lobby of an 8th-floor recording studio near New York's Times Square after midnight when 3 robbers confronted him and his friends.
They ordered him to the floor. Tupac resisted. He was shot numerous times, at least twice in the head, once in the left arm, once in the thigh, once in the groin area.
Tupac eventually ended up at the Metropolitan Hospital Center. However, a few hours after his surgery, against doctors' orders, Tupac left the hospital and went to the home of actress Jasmine Guy to recuperate. You've got to understand that Pac became very paranoid after the shooting. He wasn't sure who he could trust. He wasn't sure where was safe either. He called Biggie the next day to remove the gun Zayd kept in the piano, as he heard that the police were going to search the whole building. If the cops find the gun, they'll be able to connect the bullet in Nickel's stomach to the gun with Pac's fingerprints on it. This means another case for Pac on top of the sexual assault case, more years behind bars. The Quad Studio shooting also ruined Tupac and Biggie's relationship. Pac didn't trust anyone anymore. In fact, the shooting ruined his relationship with the entire East Coast. He asked Biggie and Diddy to help him identify the robbers, and when they couldn't provide him with any information, this made Tupac even more pissed. Tupac didn't think Biggie was part of the setup, but he felt Biggie wasn't more supportive or willing to help him find the robbers. As the king of New York, Tupac felt Biggie should have been able to help him find out who the robbers were. Pac was battling a serious case of paranoia and PTSD. This wasn't caused by just the Quad Studio shooting, but also by the sexual assault charge that he insisted he wasn't guilty of. In fact, Pac was still recovering from the injuries of the robbery when he was sent to Rikers Island after he was guilty of the sexual assault charge. The Quad Studio shooting also ruined Pac's relationship with his close friend Stretch. These two men considered themselves brothers, but after the shooting, their relationship changed. Tupac believed that Stretch was also part of the setup. Pac stated in an interview, "I was like, what should I do? I'm thinking Stretch is going to fight. He was towering over those niggas. From what I know about the criminal element, if niggas come to rob you, they always hit the big guy first. But they didn't touch Stretch. They came straight to me." Stretch was eventually killed in a drive-by shooting a year to the exact day Pac was shot at Quad Studios on the 30th of November, 1995. Some people even believe Pac might be involved in the shooting.
Because I don't have no first-hand knowledge of this, is, number one, it happened on the anniversary date of the shooting incident at the Quad Studios with Tupac.
Yeah.
Happened on that, a year to the date. Associated of ours was out there. He came back a day or two later. Pac hugged him like he was Kadada. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Someone inferring that this guy who he hugged has something to do with Stretch's murder.
It's my only reason for believing what I believe.
Tupac released Hit 'Em Up on the 4th of June, 1996. It remains one of the most vicious hit tracks in rap history. After the Quad Studio shooting, nothing was the same anymore. The ripple effects of this shooting led to Tupac being killed in September 1996, while Biggie was also murdered less than a year later in March 97. Rest in peace, Tupac. Rest in peace, Biggie Smalls.